All right, y'all, welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're heading down south to Overton County, Tennessee.
Ooh, sounds like my kind of place.
It is. Well, it is if you're into gardening.
Oh, you're talking my language.
That's what this whole deep dive is about. We're going to be digging into the gardening scene in Overton County, and specifically this one spot called Livingston Garden Center.
Okay, so what kind of dirt we digging through for this deep dive?
Well, we got a whole pile of stuff, blog posts, FAQs, even a whole study guide someone put together.
A study guide for gardening? Sounds pretty intense.
That's Overton County, Florida. They take their garden seriously. But that's what makes this so interesting, right? We're not just talking about plants. We're talking about a whole community, a whole way of life.
All right, you got me hooked. Where do we start?
Well, this recent blog post from Livingston Garden Center caught my eye. They're announcing their big spring soil shipment.
Soil shipment. Okay, sounds pretty everyday stuff. What's so special about that?
Oh, you'd be surprised. The way they're talking about it, it's like this is the event of the season. They're saying things like, get ready to grow and the wait is over.
They definitely know how to build anticipation. So what kind of magic dirt are they bringing in?
Well, that's the thing they keep mentioning is Bucky Beaver soil.
Bucky Beaver soil. Now that's a name that sticks with you.
It does, right? Is it a brand? Is it a person? Is it some kind of secret Overton County soil whisperer?
All right, you got me intrigued. Let's dig into this Bucky Beaver mystery.
Well, I did some sleuthing, and it seems like Bucky Beaver is the name for their premium bulk soil blend.
Ah, so we're talking the good stuff, not just any old bag of dirt.
Exactly, and they're not shy about bragging on it either. In the FAQs, they say it's made with aged bark fines and composted hardwood.
Oh, wow. So we're talking the real deal, not just some random mix they threw together.
Nope, this seems like carefully crafted soil, specifically designed for the needs of Overton County gardeners.
So this Bucky Beaver soil is like the foundation for their gardening success.
That's what it sounds like. And it's not just about the Hulk soil either.
Oh, there's more?
Oh, yeah. They got a whole range of bag soils, too, each with their own special something.
Given the rundown, what kind of options are we talking about here?
Well, they got your standard garden soil and raised bed soil. But then they also got things like mushroom compost.
Mushroom compost. Now that's interesting. I've heard that's great for certain plants.
That's right. And they got worm castings, too, which is basically worm poop. But don't wrinkle your nose just yet.
Worm poop. Not exactly the most glamorous garden ingredient.
I know, right? But apparently it's like gold for your plants, full of nutrients and beneficial microbes.
Okay, maybe I'll hold off on that judgment. So they got the basic soils and then the more specialty stuff. What else?
Well, something that caught my eye is they're really pushing the organic options, too.
Okay, so they're catering to the eco-conscious gardeners out there.
Exactly. They got organic soil, organic compost, the whole shebang.
Seems like they're trying to cover all their bases, making sure there's something for everyone.
That's the vibe I'm getting. And it's not just about the products either.
Oh, there's more to this story.
Oh, yeah. In this study guide we got, it actually walks us through how to create a raised bed garden.
A whole study guide for that. Seems like much.
I know, right? But it's actually pretty interesting. They break down the whole process step by step.
Okay, I'm curious. Now I'm picturing myself building this raised bed, and I'm heading over to Livingston Garden Center to pick out my soil.
Exactly. And they even recommend different blends depending on what you're planting.
So they're not just selling you dirt, they're giving you the whole gardening experience.
That's what it feels like. And of course, they got to have the mulch, too.
Of course. Can't forget the mulch.
They got black mulch, brown mulch. They even got this fancy cedar mulch, which apparently smells amazing.
All right, now you're speaking my language. I'm all about a good smelling garden.
Me too. And from what I'm gathering, Livingston Garden Center is more than just a place to buy your supplies.
Oh, what makes you say that?
They keep talking about their knowledgeable team, their commitment to customer service. It seems like they really want to help folks succeed in their gardens.
So it's like a community hug, a place where folks can gather and share their love for gardens.
That's the impression I'm getting. And that's what makes this so fascinating, right? It's not just about plants. It's about people. It's about connection.
You know, you're right. This is turning into a pretty interesting deep dive. We're learning about soil types and gardening techniques.
But we're also learning about the heart and soul of a community.
Exactly. And that's what makes this whole thing so special. You know, it's amazing how much excitement there is about soil. It's like folks in Overton County are just itching to get their hands dirty.
I think you're right. And Livingston Garden Center seems to know exactly how to tap into that enthusiasm.
Well, they've definitely got the right ingredients, so to speak. But you know what really struck me?
What's that?
This sense of community that comes through in everything we've seen so far.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Even in their FAQs, they mention all these workshops and events they host throughout the year.
Exactly. It's like they're not just selling dirt, they're building a community around it.
And that's what I love about gardening in general, right? It's a way to connect with people who share your passion.
It's true. There's nothing quite like swapping gardening stories and tips with folks who get it.
Okay, but let's get back to the dirt for a minute. Remember that Bucky Beaver soil we were talking about?
Oh, yeah, the mystery soil blend. What'd you find out about it?
Well, the FAQs actually give us a little more info. They say it's all about consistency and quality.
Makes sense. I mean, you wouldn't want your soil to be a gamble every time you plant something.
Exactly, and they say they carefully select and screen all the ingredients to make sure it's just right.
So it's like a foolproof soil for Overton County gardeners.
That's the idea. And you know what else I found interesting?
What's that?
Even though they have this Bucky Beaver blend that's supposed to be perfect as is, they still encourage folks to experiment with their soil.
Oh, yeah, I saw that in the study guide. They talk about adding compost worm castings, even things like bone meal and blood meal.
Yeah, bone meal and blood meal. That sounds a little intense.
It might sound strange, but they're actually natural fertilizers that have been used for centuries.
Learn something new every day. So even though they're offering this pre-made blend, they're not afraid to let folks get creative and try different things.
Exactly. It's like they're saying, here's a great foundation. Now go out there and make it your own.
I like that. And, it brings us back to that sense of community again.
How so?
Well, imagine folks in Overton County swapping recipes for their homemade soil amendments.
Yeah, sharing their secrets and learning from each other.
Exactly. That's what makes the whole thing so special. It's not just about gardening, it's about the people.
And their connection to the land and to each other.
I'm starting to get a real feel for this Overton County gardening spirit. It's about more than just plants. It's about a way of life.
A way of life that's rooted in tradition, community, and respect for nature.
Well said. And it seems like Livingston Garden Center is right at the heart of it all.
They're more than just a store. They're a symbol of Overton County's love affair with gardening.
Well, folks, we're back for the final dig in our Overton County gardening adventure. We've unearthed a lot about their love for all things green, their fascination with that Bucky Beaver soil, and the tight-knit community that blossoms around Livingston Garden Center.
And as we put the finishing touches on this deep dive, I think it's worth taking a moment to reflect. What do these gardening choices reveal about the values that make this community tick?
That's a great question. From what we've dug up so far, I'd say quality, sustainability, and a deep respect for tradition are all deeply rooted in their approach.
You hit the nail on the head there. They're not afraid to branch out and try new things, but they also hold dear those time-tested practices passed down through generations.
Right. Like, remember that study guide we talked about? They mentioned heirloom varieties of veggies and flowers.
Oh yeah, those heirloom varieties. That's a real testament to their connection to the past, a way of preserving Overton County's agricultural heritage.
It's not just about nostalgia, though. Heirloom varieties often pack more flavor, and they're tougher than those modern hybrids.
True that. It's proof that sometimes those old ways are still the best ways. And, gardening itself embodies that philosophy.
How so?
Well, think about it. It's all about patience, persistence. You plant a seed, you nurture it, you wait for nature to do its thing. It's a slow and steady process that teaches you to appreciate the rhythm of the seasons.
It's a good lesson for all of us, especially in today's world where everything moves so fast.
Couldn't agree more. And, I'm seeing a pattern here. This whole idea of slow and steady, of respect for the land of community and tradition, it's woven through everything we've learned about Overton County and the art and culture.
Absolutely. It's not just about plants. It's about a way of life, a connection to something bigger than ourselves.
It's about nourishing our bodies, our minds, and our spirits.
Well said. As we wrap up this deep dive, I'm feeling inspired to get my hands dirty, start my own little garden, maybe even take a trip down to Overton County someday to experience this gardening community firsthand.
I hear you. There's something truly special about a community that comes together over a shared love of gardening.
Well, folks, that's it for our deep dive into Livingston Garden Center and the heart of Overton County's gardening scene. We hope you've enjoyed this little journey with us.
And if this exploration has sparked a little bit of that gardening spirit in you, we encourage you to get out there and get your hands dirty.
Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time planter, there's nothing quite like the joy of growing something beautiful and delicious with your own two hands. Happy gardening, everyone.
Pick up on site.
All day long, every day, I have a landscape company, so
Right on. This is the place to do it.